We're turning now to the recent Mackinac Policy Conference where the state announced a partnership with TV personality Mike Rowe. He's known for hosting CNN's Somebody's Gotta Do It and Discovery Channel's Dirty Jobs. But now Rowe is helping to redefine the meaning of a good job here in Michigan. I talked with him about his efforts to promote careers in the skilled trades.
Early in 2009, late in 2008, the economy obviously took an ugly turn. And the headlines everywhere were about very high unemployment, 10, 11, 12, 13%. But on my show, everywhere I went, I saw help wanted signs. And it just made me think, what a curious narrative, or a tale of two narratives, really, going on contemporaneously. We have a widening skills gap at the same time we have rising unemployment. And I just started to wonder what's really informing that, you know? And I talked to a lot of the employers who opened up their sets for us, including the Bridge Authority. And the answer really was kind of obvious. There was just no great enthusiasm for a whole category of jobs and a whole category of education that we typically call alternative.
So how do you change that mindset?
You need about 40 years, and you need a steady diet of cultural messages that consistently challenge the stigmas and stereotypes that currently live. You remember the Indian on the side of the road with the tear?
Mm-hmm.
That was part of a PR campaign that came out of a consortium that was formed in the early 50s. Government, NGOs, private sector, concerned citizens. And they wanted to do something about Americans littering, because we were such pigs back then. We'd have a picnic, right, and we'd just leave our stuff, just toss it. It worked. It took a while, but eventually it challenged the country's relationship with litter. I think we have to challenge the country's relationship with work if we want to challenge the definition of a good job in 2015.
All right, so how does that fit in with Michigan? And now you're with an initiative with the state and trying to help change that perception.
Yeah, I've done, my little organization really works in two ways. Partly it's a megaphone, to the extent that I can have one, and it's a scholarship initiative. But the programs we've worked with before that have worked have been in Alabama, Georgia, Idaho, and the skills gap is a little different in every state. Here in Michigan, though, it's just so perfectly positioned. And by perfect, I don't mean good. I just mean that you've got all of the elements that come into play. First of all, you're kind of in the middle of the country, and you're a famous manufacturing hub. There's a big conversation about wage, which is always going to exist. But there's also now a conversation about age. And these are the numbers that I find are most horrifying. If you look and see 60% of skilled tradesmen well north of 50 and look at who's coming in to replace them,
you don't have
they
the
ain't
numbers.
there.
No.
It just doesn't add up. And yes, you gotta have a conversation about money, I get it, but the big conversation is about willingness to do the jobs and an enthusiasm for it. If that's not there, the bottom falls out.